Every morning, before emails, before meetings, before the world had any chance to pull him into its noise, he did something so simple and so strange that almost no one around him ever noticed it. And those who did never took it seriously, because it didn't look productive, impressive, or remotely connected to building a billion-dollar fortune. There was no alarm clock ritual, no cold plunge, no motivational speech, and no rigid routine designed to look good on social media. In fact, if you watched him closely, it would appear as though he was doing nothing at all, and that's precisely why this habit mattered. While most people started their mornings reacting, checking messages, absorbing news, and immediately allowing external demands to dictate their priorities, he did the opposite. He delayed input, creating a quiet gap between waking up and engaging with the world. The gap was intentional. Every morning, he wrote one sentence, not a goal list, not a plan, not affirmations, one sentence. And what made it strange wasn't the act of writing, but the rule behind it. The sentence could not describe what he wanted to do. It had to describe how he wanted to decide the day. Sometimes the sentence was short, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes vague, but it always served the same purpose: to anchor his decisions before anything else had the chance to influence them. On days when pressure was high, the sentence reminded him not to rush. On days when ego was loud, it reminded him to listen. On days when fear was present, it reminded him to wait. Most people assume discipline comes from structure, but what he discovered was that clarity comes from intention. And intention needs to be defined before chaos arrives, not during it. Early in his career, when money was tight and uncertainty constant, this habit felt almost absurd, because writing one sentence didn't pay bills, close deals, or solve immediate problems. But over time, he noticed something subtle yet powerful. His decisions became more consistent, not necessarily better in isolation, but aligned. Aligned decisions compound in ways scattered decisions never do. Without this anchor, he realized how easily his days were hijacked by urgency, by other people's priorities, by short-term incentives that felt important in the moment but led nowhere meaningful. This single sentence acted as a filter, quietly influencing hundreds of micro-decisions throughout the day. What to say yes to, what to ignore, when to push forward, and when to pause. While others optimized their mornings for energy, speed, or motivation, he optimized for judgment. And judgment, unlike motivation, doesn't fluctuate with mood. As his responsibilities grew and his influence expanded, this habit became even more valuable. Because the higher you go, the fewer people are willing to challenge your decisions, and the easier it becomes to mistake confidence for correctness. That morning's sentence was often the only voice reminding him to slow down, to question assumptions, and to resist the seductive pull of momentum when momentum was leading in the wrong direction. What's interesting is that this habit never became public. He didn't teach it, promote it, or brand it, because it wasn't designed to inspire others. It was designed to protect himself from his own blind spots. People later tried to analyze his success through strategy, timing, and execution. And while those factors mattered, they overlooked the invisible framework that shaped how those strategies were chosen in the first place. The strange thing wasn't the sentence. The strange thing was the consistency every morning. Regardless of travel, stress, or success, he created that pause. Because once he stopped doing it, he noticed his decisions became noisier, more reactive, and less intentional. This habit didn't make him smarter overnight, but it reduced regret. Because decisions made from clarity are easier to stand by, even when outcomes aren't perfect, over years. This quiet practice shaped a leadership style that felt calm, deliberate, and trustworthy, traits that attracted the right people, the right partners, and the right opportunities without force. By the time he reached billionaire status, the habit was so deeply embedded that it felt less like a routine and more like a safeguard, a way to ensure that no matter how chaotic the world became, the way he chose would remain his own. Most people wake up and immediately give their attention away, But he understood something rare. That attention is the first asset you spend every day, and once it's gone, you don't get to decide how the rest of the day unfolds. This story isn't telling you to copy the habit or to believe that one sentence can change your life, but it does challenge a dangerous assumption that productivity begins with action, when in reality, it often begins with restraint. So the real question isn't what you do every morning, but who you allow to influence your decisions before you've even had the chance to think, because the direction of your day is often decided in the first quiet moments after you wake up. If you want more true stories about the hidden habits and invisible systems that shape extreme success, the routines no one notices but everyone feels the results of, make sure you subscribe, because the next story reveals how a billionaire avoided his biggest mistake by doing something almost no one else thought was necessary.